Imagine a country where calling the police is a gamble, where if you're the victim of a crime, there's a 62% chance the person who hurt you will never be caught, where the government openly admits it only solves 11% of murders. Now imagine that same country has a private army, 2.5 million strong, 4 times larger than its police force, an industry worth 50 billion rand, paid for by citizens who've given up on the state. This isn't a failed state. This is South Africa, and you're living in a society with 2 justice systems, one you buy and one that doesn't exist. This is a story of how a nation privatized safety and why there's no going back. Let me show you something that should terrify every South African. In the past 10 years, 21.5 million criminal cases were opened in South Africa. 61% of them were closed without being solved. That's 13.2 million unresolved cases gone, just closed. The overall clearance rate for criminal cases in South Africa stands at just 37.5%. Translation: if you become a victim of crime in this country, there's a 62.5% chance, nearly 2/3, that the person who hurt you will never face consequences. But it gets worse. Between 2018 and 2023, thousands of violent crimes were closed without resolution. 67,655 murders unsolved. 61,740 rapes unsolved. 40,089 attempted murders unsolved. 141,026 assaults unsolved. 9,000 just unsolved. Why? South Africa has an extreme detective shortage. Only 15% of SAPS members are deployed as detectives. Some detectives are handling 300 to 500 case dockets each. Imagine trying to solve 400 murders, rapes, and assaults at the same time. It's mathematically impossible. And here's the most alarming stat of all. The murder detection rate target for 2025-2026 financial year is 11.33%. Let me repeat that. The goal is to solve 11% of murders, not 50%, not 70%, 11%. That means the South African Police Service has openly admitted we will not even attempt to solve nearly 90% of murders. This isn't incompetence. This is abandonment. While the state was failing, something else was growing quietly, massively, profitably. Today, South Africa has over 10,380 registered private security companies. Collectively, they employ 2.5 million registered security guards, 556,000 active, and 2 million on reserve. The South African Police Service, they only have 153,000 officers. Private security outnumbers police and military combined by more than 4-1. The private security industry in South Africa is worth 50 billion rand annually. That's more than the entire government police budget. And here's the kicker. The government itself is a customer. The South African government spends 16.9 billion rand per year on contracts with private security companies, not for citizens, not for government buildings, for officials, for themselves. It's common knowledge that many South African police stations are physically guarded by private security companies. The police can't even protect themselves.
So we give their tactical support because our guys are tactically trained, so we give extra assistance. South Africa doesn't have enough police officers, so we assist them.
G4S, one of the largest security firms, moves 100 billion rand in cash annually through armored vehicles. They have their own fleet, their own intelligence networks, their own rapid response units. Fidelity Security has more than 2,800 service points across South Africa. That's more locations than any bank in the country. In rural areas where there's no police station for 50 kilometers, there's a Fidelity office. In remote communities, private security companies have become the de facto law enforcement. They're the ones who respond to emergencies. They're the ones people call. Professor David Bruce, a criminologist, put it bluntly. Private security is now performing functions that were traditionally the exclusive domain of the state, but they're doing it without democratic accountability. Because here's the thing about privatizing safety. It only works if you can afford it. Let me paint you a picture of two South Africas. They exist in the same country, sometimes just 10 kilometers apart, but they might as well be on different planets. South Africa 1. You live in a gated estate in Sandton. Multiple layers of security, biometrics access control, CCTV cameras on every corner, armored response teams, guaranteed arrival within 3 minutes of your panic button being pressed. You pay 2,000 to 5,000 Rand per month for this level of protection. You are safe. You are safe. Crime rarely touches you, and when it does, private investigators, not police, solve it. South Africa 2. You live in Alex, Khayelitsha or Distrust. No gates, no cameras, no armed response. When something happens, and it will, you call 10-111. If the police come, it might be in 2 hours or 4. Sometimes they don't come at all. The average police response time in wealthy suburbs supported by private security is 15 to 30 minutes. In townships, over an hour, sometimes never. Your safety depends on luck, on community watch groups, on vigilante justice. When the state fails you, you can't afford private security. What choice do you have? Here's what the data shows. In the 2023 to 2024 financial year, South Africa recorded 27,494 murders. That's 75 people murdered every single day. One murder every 19 minutes. The murder rate is 45 per 100,000 people, one of the highest in the world. And research shows something disturbing. Up to 8.4% of all hospital admissions in South African medical wards are due to adverse reactions to crime, assault, stabbings, gunshot wounds.
If ever this government is not ready to listen to us, then violence maybe will make them listen.
Nearly 1 in 10 people in hospitals are there because of violence. In 2023, the Private Security Industry Regulatory Authority admitted that private security providers are now entering functional areas of policing, which are normally exclusively the domain of SAPS. They're not even hiding it anymore. The state has outsourced law enforcement to companies. We've created a parallel state, a shadow government where safety is a commodity you purchase, not a right you're entitled to. And the most tragic part, the people who need protection the most, the poor, the vulnerable, get it the least. The numbers tell one story. Public perception tells another, and they both point to the same conclusion. South Africans have given up their police. Only 22% of South Africans trust the police. Let that sink in. In a democracy, fewer than 1 in 4 citizens trust law enforcement. 62% have no trust whatsoever. 6 in 10 South Africans believe the police cannot or will not protect them. And it gets worse. 6 in 10 citizens say most or all police officers are corrupt. It's not paranoia, it's pattern recognition. In 2025, SAPS CFO Lieutenant General Puleng Timpani testified before Parliament. She said something that should have made headlines everywhere.
Under your watch, there was this issue of PPEs, which it was found by the AG, no, not me, that it was irregular. So what I'm asking you, do you agree? And I said to you that the issue as well was that some of these tenders, there was verbal agreement.
Chair, at the time of procurement surrounding the PPEs, I did not participate in those committees, as I have indicated. Chair, I have indicated that there is a culture in the organization that we must deal with to ensure that there's real consequences so that it serves as a deterrent.
SAPS does not deal with irregular expenditure seriously. The Auditor General found 2.5 billion in irregular expenditure. That's 275 transactions where money was spent improperly. Nobody has been held accountable. 2.5 billion just gone. While police stations can't afford vehicles, while officers patrol on foot, while response times stretch into hours. Here's the most absurd part. SAPS spent 368 million in a single day, March 2023, to deploy officers for EFF's national shutdown. 368 million for 1 day of policing. Meanwhile, the Political Killings Task Team, a unit investigating political assassinations in South Africa, received 435 million over 7 years. One protest got almost as much money as 7 years of investigating political murders. And just last month, businessman Vusikat Matlala testified before Parliament from prison. He admitted he gave former Police Minister Bheki Cele 500,000. Why? Because Cele helped him after police raided his properties. Matlala's company, Medicare 24, was awarded a 360 million rand tender by SAPS. The tender was later cancelled for irregularities, but Matlala already got paid. Cele had previously testified under oath that he barely knew Matlala. Turns out, they were 500,000 rand close. This is state capture of law enforcement. This is why 13.2 million cases go unsolved. Not because detectives aren't trying, because the system itself is rotten. You might be thinking, so what? If private security works for some people, isn't that better than nothing? Here's why it matters. Democracy is built on a foundational principle. The state has a monopoly on the legitimate use of force. Police, military, courts, these institutions exist to serve everyone equally regardless of wealth. That's the social contract. When you privatize that monopoly, you break the social contract. You create a system where your constitutional right to safety depends on your bank account. This is what a failed state looks like. Places where the government can't or won't provide basic security. So people turn to warlords, militias, private armies. And once this system is entrenched, it's almost impossible to reverse. The wealthy have no incentive to fund public police through taxes. They've already paid for private security. The poor can't afford private security, and the police can't help them. The gap widens. The inequality hardens. Meanwhile, the South African police service continues to deteriorate. Underfunded, demoralized, outgunned. Because why would government invest in public safety when the middle class and the elite have already opted out? The private security industry has zero motivation to solve crime. Crime is their business model. The more unsafe South Africa feels, the more money they make. It's a feedback loop, and it's accelerating. We've normalized living in fear. We've normalized 3-meter walls and electric fencing and armed guards at every corner. We've normalized the idea that safety is something you buy, not something you're entitled to. And that should terrify us, because a society this divided cannot hold. South Africa is not a failed state. Not yet, but we are conducting an experiment that's never been tried before. Can a democracy survive when safety is privatized? Can a society function when protection is a luxury good? Now we have 2.5 million private security personnel and 153,000 police officers. That 4-to-1 ratio should alarm everyone. It means we've accepted that the state cannot do its most basic job, keeping people safe. 13.2 million unsolved cases, 76,655 murders without arrest, a murder detection target of 11%, 50 billion rand a year spent on private protection, a parallel army that answers to profit, not people. this is where we are. The question is, where do we go from here? Do we invest in public policing even though the wealthy have opted out? Do we regulate private security to serve the public good? Or do we accept that South Africa will have two tiers forever, the protected and the exposed? I don't have the answer, but I know this. A country that needs 2.5 million private security guards to feel safe is a country in crisis, and ignoring it won't make it go away.